Yesterday, Matt Miller at the State Department announced that we were snapping back sanctions on Venezuela. We had relieved sanctions on Venezuela in a negotiation in order to get back some American prisoners that were held there. We wanted them to extradite somebody here. They extradited that person, and they wanted some other kind of commitments around election transparency, democracy, other reforms. Maduro then claimed that there was a coup attempt against him, arrested a bunch of people, and banned the opposition party, heading into this an upcoming election. That ban of the opposition party was ratified by the Venezuelan courts, which will become relevant in this segment later. Meanwhile, over in Pakistan, which has an election on February 8th, grassroots members of the PTI, which is the kind of the biggest kind of party, opposition party in Pakistan, are just being arrested en masse when they sign up just to run for like lower level offices. And the opposition party leader, former Prime Minister Imran Khan, earlier this week was sentenced to 10 years in a totally bogus case around the alleged mishandling of a classified document that we actually published over The Intercept. He was not our source. He had nothing to do with it. They never proved he did. It was complete kangaroo nonsense. And then today they sentenced him to an additional 14 years for another completely ridiculous case. This one is like a state gifts case. So for background, Imran Khan was a famous cricketer, extraordinarily wealthy. His next phase in his career after cricket was as a philanthropist. That's how he became doubly popular in Pakistan, building hospitals, universities, etc. And so then they charged him with taking gifts from like foreign, like say Pakistan goes on the Pakistan Prime Minister goes to like Bangladesh and they give him like some gift, like a watch or something. Yep. They are accusing him of like keeping this stuff illegally. He says he did all the paperwork. The idea that a guy who is like massively rich and a philanthropist is trying to like pilfer a watch is as absurd as you can imagine. He was tried in secret, like nothing about the case made any sense. And they're banning him from running for office for 10 years and essentially banning the PTI from the ballot. It's complicated the way that the court did it. The State Department, meanwhile, no sanctions whatsoever. So yesterday at the State Department briefing, there were a lot of questions that were thrown at Matt Miller about this. And here's how I framed it to him, and here's his response.
As you said earlier, that's a matter for the Pakistani courts. When it came to Venezuela, that's a political matter, it seems. The Venezuelan courts, of course, approved Maduro's banning of the party. Now, you could say that court is under Maduro's thumb. It's a kangaroo court. But in Pakistan, the prosecution was held in secret. Just recently, his attorney, Imran Khan's attorneys, were kept out of the courtroom, and they took attorneys from the prosecution team and put them on the defense team. Nothing about that prosecution seems less than kangaroo. So why would Venezuela's be a political case, but when it comes to Pakistan, that's a matter for the Pakistani courts?
So there are different situations, and we have not yet made that conclusion with respect to the Pakistani legal process. When you look at Venezuela, we are looking at the entire history of the Maduro regime in cracking down on democracy and, most importantly in this case, failing to carry out the commitments that they made to allow candidates to run. It's a commitment that they made that the country has reneged on, and that's why we were able to make the assessment in that case.
So there might still be a determination on the Pakistan question?
I don't have anything to preview, but it's not one that we've made at this time.
So Matt Lee, So Matt Lee, the AP reporter, followed up immediately after this and said, wait a minute. So Venezuela does not have independent courts, but are you saying that Pakistan does?
Right.
He's like, and he said, my phone's dying here, but if I looked up the State Department's human rights report on Pakistan, would I find that the State Department feels like the Pakistani courts are completely independent and trustworthy?
What would we do as a country without him in those briefings?
I know, it's fun to watch him.
I'm glad you're in there now too. You started going a lot more frequently.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be in there. They don't necessarily answer the questions, but you can put things to them and hear how they respond. So if people are actually wondering what the difference is,
yes,
Venezuela is an adversary. Maduro is an adversary of the United States, and the military-backed government in Pakistan is an ally of the United States. And Imran Khan was seen to be either adversarial or too neutral.
And we wanted him to cooperate on weapons production because we were in a hot war with Russia. Yeah,
he famously gave this speech to a large rally in response to the EU demanding and the U.S. Privately demanding that Pakistan support Ukraine and not take what the U.S. called aggressive neutrality when it came to Ukraine and Russia. He gave a speech where he said, "We are not your slaves," and that kind of rhetoric chafes the West. It's like, what are you talking about? Right. You do what you're told. And now he's in prison. How
has October 7th given Imran Khan's relationship with the broader sort of Muslim world and his sort of followers, his base, how has that shifted how the State Department treats Imran Khan's base and support in Pakistan?
Perhaps second to Erdogan, but actually maybe not. Like Imran Khan was probably the most popular Muslim elected official in the world because Erdogan was not also a famous cricketer on top of everything that Khan did.
Don't give him any ideas.
And so Khan, if Imran Khan were in power now, he would be kind of a loud voice when it came to the Israel-Gaza question. Instead, he's completely muzzled.
Just one of the least discussed but most important sort of subplots to the hot wars happening right now in geopolitics.
Yeah, and we interviewed the Pakistani ambassador over at The Intercept for podcast Intercepted and Deconstructed. The Pakistani ambassador to the United Nations, UN permanent representative, and we asked him about Israel-Gaza. He actually had served under Khan and serves under the current government. And he was like, look, the Palestinian cause is extremely popular in Pakistan. Because I asked him, why Pakistan hadn't joined the coalition, battling the Houthis. He's like that would be just completely untenable for us to do. Like what the Houthis are doing is popular in Pakistan.
Yep.
But the Pakistani government isn't being vocal about any of that.
Less aggressive neutrality.
Yes, exactly. Passive neutrality.
Passive neutrality. Well, I'm really glad we had time to get to this story. And again, so glad that you're going to those briefings and we get to watch them respond, even when it's a non-answer. A lot of non-answers are super helpful.
Should be one later today. I'll be there.
All right, we'll be watching for that, and maybe we'll have something to talk about next week, Brian, when we're back with Counterpoints in a week from now on Wednesday. Again, remember to subscribe, because if you subscribe to the premium version of the show, you get all of Counterpoints right in your inbox. You get it early, you get the full video, as opposed to the few videos that are posted to the channel throughout the day on Wednesday. That one's the full show. So if you're a premium subscriber, if you're not a premium subscriber, make sure to do that. We appreciate it so much. It supports the work that we are so privileged to be able to do here.
There might still be 25% off. Don't hold me to that.
It's a surprise, though.
Yeah, go check breakingpoints.com.
No, it is. We're told, yes.
Still is 25% off. Go get it quick, though.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys back here next week.
Hey, if you liked that video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Breaking Points.
If you want to see the rest of Counterpoints, go to breakingpoints.com to become a premium member and get the full uncut show every morning in your inbox and on Spotify.
Help us build independent news and get the full show every morning at breakingpoints.com.